This is Emmitt Smith, and you're listening to 3 Point Conversion.
How did you feel like it went overall, Doug, tonight for your starters on offense?
I thought it went well for them. A couple field goals early, and the touchdown drive we ended it. The one there, I was just, I wish we would have finished the other two, with touchdowns. But I thought for the first time they did some good things. Wasn't perfect, but settled in and did well both sides of the ball.
Could you tell just by that third drive that they were more comfortable or more kind of settled in, like you said?
Yeah. And that's why I probably played a little longer than expected. I think 25 or 26 snaps, something like that. But I just wanted them to kind of feel the game, and go back out. I thought that, because sometimes in camp, conditioning becomes an issue, and you kind of want to see those things. I thought they did really well with that, and just overall, I mean, there's some things to learn from. Obviously, we get better at, but yeah, I played well.
How concerning is the running game at this point?
Offensively?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's still early. We're trying a lot of things, doing a lot of things, seeing a lot of people. You don't game plan a lot, so you're not really focused on them as much as it is us. So not a concern at this point. We just got to keep going to work and get better at it.
What do you feel like was the high point tonight for the starting group?
Well, the fact that we scored. I wanted to see execution. I wanted to see, physicality up front with the offensive line. Move the line of scrimmage, things like that, and end up either with kicks or touchdowns, and we did that. So those are all positives that we can build off of.
The secondary got a takeaway tonight. Jenkins with the force and Shaq with the recovery. How important was it for that unit to generate that kind of play for you?
I think it's great. Anytime you can take the ball away and steal a possession, it helps your overall, team. And the flip side of that is we have to take care of the ball. That was kind of the difference in the game. The touchdown there, or the interception that was just really ripped out of our hands, right before half, and had a nice game there in the fourth and turnover, and just things like that just can't happen. But it was good to see the defense get their hands on some balls.
Traylon had a nice tackle on third down early in the game. Also drew a holding penalty. What'd you see out of him, and just how is he progressing?
Yeah, I think he's doing well. It's hard. I mean, I'm gonna obviously watch the film and see it, but I think overall he did some really good things out there. He's disruptive and kind of picked up where he left off last week, and it's good to see him and Josh Allen both out there at the same time.
Doug, you mentioned game plan. You didn't over here last week. You didn't plan for the Raiders in Canton. You said you didn't do much now this week. Next week, when you get ready for the game here against Pittsburgh, do you almost treat that like a regular game where you really got to implement what Pittsburgh's doing both offensively and defensively?
You can a little bit, to try to have some success on offense and defense. I still think it's difficult, especially with the amount of players that both teams are playing this time of year. And obviously we have 2 games under our belt, but they'll have 1. So there's not a lot to go off of, but you still want your team to have success going into the game, so you try to prepare them a little bit for what they may see. But again, it kind of just boils down to just doing your job, and how you're coached and what you're coached to do assignment-wise. I think tonight, especially in the second half, we had a number of mistakes that cost us and it hurt us at times.
11 rushes in the first quarter alone. Is that a focus of yours going into the season, that you really want to be physical up front and really run the football a lot?
Well, I mean, yes, I did want to see the offensive line, in the run game, and I wanted to see, Travis in the run game, and just to see how we can handle that. I think you go into each game trying to establish the run, and sometimes you can either keep it going, or sometimes you have to switch gears. But it was just, I think, a mindset for me to see that offensive line and Travis really, be physical, especially early in the game.
Are you going to be looking to utilize Travis in a number of ways this season as more of a weapon like he was used in college, or are you really going to try to focus on him as being that change of pace back?
Maybe.
Coach, defensively, how do you think the group did getting pressure on the quarterback?
Did well. You know, early on, I thought we did a nice job of putting pressure on Deshaun and you know, defensively. We had a couple chances maybe for some turnovers early. You know, we had some, but I'm talking about interceptions there. But yeah, you know, the front seven, I think are going to be really good. Our third down pass rush can be special. But you know, we still got some work to do before we get to the season.
That was the most extended time Travis has actually gotten carries in an NFL game to this point. Without going back to the film, what did you really see from him?
It's kind of interesting because I thought he did some things really well. He stayed disciplined in his path and his track, and then I thought maybe sometimes he got a little antsy and tried to make some moves that probably weren't there. But that just comes with time, as you know, and he hasn't had the time. So these are valuable reps for him. He's going to get better. He'll watch the film, you know, either tomorrow or the next day and make the corrections. But I thought overall, for the first time back out, it was good to see him and put him in those situations.
Is that kind of why it's important for you guys to see him out there in a game like tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
Trevor had the 32-yarder to Zay to sort of get things going. How did you feel about that play and just how Trevor played in general?
I think overall he played well. It was good to see. It was a good throw and catch. He made some really other difficult, you know, throws. The fourth down to Evan on the touchdown was a good throw. But yeah, to start the game down the field, those two connecting, you know, Zay being new to the football team it was good to see. Something that we can continue to build upon, and you know, and you know, you bring guys like Zay on your team and Christian Kirk and Evan, those guys, you know, offensively that they're weapons and they can just add value to your football team. You know, with your Marvin Joneses, with your Agnews when he's healthy, LaVisca, and you know, it's just another piece that we can utilize, and it was good to see them connect a couple times tonight.
Was Christian close? Like, I mean, could he have gone if it was?
If it was a normal game, I think he would have been fine. Yeah, but I just didn't want to put him out there and risk some setback.
When it comes to Trevor, how do you feel about his poise from this game compared to the start of training camp or even some of last year that you might have seen?
You know, I think this guy is very mature, handles a lot of things well. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. You know, stays pretty even keel. And yeah, I mean, it's steady. You know, I don't nothing's too big or too small for him, and handles it well.
Will Richardson, is there any update on him?
Yeah, right now I think it's an ankle again. It just got rolled up on, so I'll get further tomorrow. You know, when the guys come in, I'll have a better update on all the guys that get hurt tonight.
Arden came out too. Is he?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He got poked in the eye.
Okay. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, I reckon, but
That's fine.
the tackling second and third quarters, especially, but the second front seven, you know, and I think DT missed another one and everything. So you're gonna have another heavy week, I guess, or Monday especially. You know, is that some things you're gonna prioritize?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to tackle better, you know, and some of these guys are fighting for roster spots. You know, we know that, and we don't want them to, you know, put any added pressure on themselves, but at the same time, you know, when the plays come to them, we ask them to make the play, and tonight there was just a few of those that didn't make the play, and we just need to keep working at it. You know, we got a couple good practices coming up this next week, and we'll emphasize that and make sure that you know, when we get to the next game that we're better in those areas.
It seemed like Evan really showed off his athleticism on the touchdown. What were your thoughts on how he performed on that play?
Yeah, I thought he did well tonight. You know, and not only in the pass game but the run game, and you know, that was just a well executed play by our offense. Those are the things you want to see, you know, from your offense on a fourth down scenario that scores the touchdown there. And it's good to see that him and you know, Trevor on the same page there, and just you know, Evan's just a good athlete, you know, overall, and gives us great value on offense.
Last year, I believe there was only 2 first quarter touchdowns. Yeah, you know, 2.8 was the average in the first quarter. So even though it was preseason tonight, what does that say to this team and you that 13 will put up early?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction, number one. You know, things that I've studied over the years too is teams that score early and kind of build that lead in the first half, you know, tend to, you know, win games more than lose games, and it's just an aggressive mindset. It's just, you know, focusing on doing our jobs and executing, and you know, we pride ourselves if as a staff we put together a first 15 or openers, you know, and we try to score on those, you know, maybe 8 or 9, 10 plays, and it was good to see tonight. We did get the couple of field goals early, which is good, and ultimately the touchdown there in the second quarter. But yeah, that's something that we consciously, you know, make an effort to do, and that score early.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Yep.